I'm Lanikia, and you're watching What Happened on the Soaps. This is General Hospital Edition. All right, these episodes are from Thursday and Friday of last week. Y'all, I am trying my best to catch up. So this is from the 15th and the 16th of last week. I'm gonna give these tens because they were really good to me. Y'all know how I felt about Rory. I really did like Rory. So I was really sad. This is all right, so let's jump right into it. We see Sam and Maxie. Sam and Maxie are talking because Maxie is letting Sam know, what do you think about Austin? And she finds out Sam really don't care for Austin, but she said, I mean, I don't have anything against him. He just, I don't know. And so she was like, well, I found out he's been blackmailing Spinelli to run his to run society setups, and he ran a test to see if we were compatible. And she said, and I don't like that. She said, I went from Peter right on over there to Austin. I said, Maxie, we all say you got bad taste in men, girl. And so she's concerned about, like, this is a major red flag. She said, my baby saw it. Spinelli obviously understand why he didn't like him. She was like, there was all these red flags. She said, but how could someone be one way, so great with her when, with Bailey and everything she was going through with Peter, but then turn around and be this. And she said, but then I ignored things like how he was towards Brooklyn and all those type of things. And Sam is just like, you got to follow what you got to follow what you want to do. And I'm not gonna hold you long on that because that was not the meat in the episode. But Sam is just pretty much like, you gotta trust yourself in what you want to do. But right now, Maxie is like, I don't trust Austin. I said, keep that thought, girl, because I don't trust him either. But anyway, so then we move on to Ava and Nicholas. So Nicholas coming over, and him and Ava, hey sister, what are you doing? So he and Ava are doing a little flirting and all that kind of stuff. And then I said, okay. And so she tells him, have dinner with me. I'm about to order takeout. He said, what? I'm not. He said, I wish I could, but I'm not hungry. And then he gives her the divorce papers. And I'm like, sir, wait, what? And so he gives her, yeah, because y'all know he got to give her these divorce papers because Elizabeth done went and told Finn she pregnant. And so they got to keep this lie up to cover up for Esme. Mama, if you don't sit down. So they got to cover this lie up for Esme, that they're doing because of Esme and everything. So that's why he got to do this. So one minute Nicholas is warm and loving, and the next minute he cold-hearted to what's her name? Ava. And so she just can't understand why he would do this. Why is he treating her this way? She said, you don't want a divorce. You love me. Hold on, y'all. And won't, but anyway, she said, you love me. I know you love me. So why are you doing this? You would know. What is it? Tell me what it is so we don't have to do this. But he won't tell her what it is, child. And so because of that, she's just like, she doesn't want a divorce, but what can she do when he's just telling her, I want a divorce? And then he told her, I'm with Elizabeth. She said, what? And so he like, yeah, I was with Elizabeth. And on top of that, then he went and told her, and she's pregnant. Baby, I said, Abel about to blow a gasket. Whoo, Nicholas Ava had that letter opener, and she pinned it up, and then they gonna come back from commercial break, and she had just stabbed the divorce papers with it. I said, Ava, I didn't want her to stab him, but y'all know I love these two together. And so yeah, I know everything that's going on with Mark. Is his name Marcus in real life? Yeah, in I don't know. But anyways, I love these two together. So I was sad to I'm sad that they're getting a divorce and they have to go out like this. But Ava just tells Nicholas, he was like, I know you I hate this and everything. She said, you don't know the meaning of hate, but she gonna learn him a good one. I said, all right, well, we about to see. So y'all remember that Spencer had knocked out. Well, I'm telling y'all remember. Y'all been watching. I'm the one that has to remember. Spencer knocked out Dex. I said, Dex, you went down. What's wrong with all these people falling off a punch? Spencer went to prison and threw a few punches. But anyways, and Johnson is all like, "What's wrong with you?" And then she trying to defend because Spencer see everything going on, so that's why he did it. And so they made Spencer's like, I'll get out of here. So he's leaving, but Jocelyn says, Dex, you don't have to leave. He says, you don't know what I have to do. And she was like, oh. And then he go ahead and he leaves, right? And so when he leave, Dex all he at the gym and all he could think about is Jocelyn. I'm not gonna hold you long, but he reminisce about all the times they've been together and growing closer, right? So then Spencer goes outside because he's just like, I'm trying to defend you, Cam, and what kind of homecoming it is this? Well, anyways, Trina had been over there. Hold on, y'all. Trina had been over there talking to Jordan because she had been looking for Rory, right? But Trina, she was like, he should be here. Like, he just left my office like 20 minutes ago. Ma'am, he just left my office like 20 minutes ago. So he should have been here. So he should have been here. So then they look all over, they can't find him. And she said, that's okay. But Trina made the hint of like, he would Jordan said, I'm sure he'll be glad to see you. And she was like, not for long, because Trina was going over there to break it off with Rory, right? So then she ends up going to Kelly's because she told Jordan, I'm gonna go to Kelly's and see if Rory shows up there, right? So she sees Spencer outside of Kelly's and they sit down and talk. And he lets her know, because I'm not gonna hold y'all long on this. This is days old. He lets her know that I'm about to leave town. I don't have any love, that there's nothing here for me. It's only a few people who love me, and I'm gonna go and disappoint strangers. And she said, Spencer, that's sad. And then she said, if you would open your eyes, you would see. He was like, my eyes are open, Trina. And so she was about to tell him something. And then Curtis comes up. So then we see Portia and Elizabeth. They're talking about Portia's wedding. She said, do you think I should be getting married in February with all this stuff going on? The hook killer, so much sadness. And Elizabeth said, no, you get married. And she said, but I haven't heard from you and Finn. So Finn comes up, but he leaves because he don't want to be around Elizabeth. And so she says, Elizabeth just comes clean to Portia and says, Finn and I are not together, so I'll be coming, but I don't know about Finn. And she was like, oh my gosh, she's sad to hear that. So then we see Gregory comes up and he talks to Finn, and he's about to take Finn out because he wants to, take him to talk. And he says, did Alexis you up to this? And he says, Alexis better than that. She would never say, but your daughter is concerned about you. And so he gives him a nice picture that Violet had drew, and she's concerned because he seems unhappy. And he was like, I'm about to go home and be with her and do better. And then we see Rory. Now, remember when on Wednesday episode, he went into this building. So when he went into this building, he heard a noise and he turned around, right? But baby, by the time he turned around good, it was too late. That hook was up. And I said, oh, he shot the hook killer. I don't know. But so then Dante hears the shooting because I said Dante was right behind him. Rory, what was you doing? So Dante hears it and he calls for backup and he goes in and he sees Rory he sees a man dead. And I said, well, that ain't the hook killer. And then Rory comes out from the back and he says, he was attacked. It was a hook. So then he's calling for backup and everything. And Jordan gets there and she sees Rory and she says, we got to get him. We can't wait for the ambulance. We got to get him to the hospital now. So, so she runs and she gets him to the hospital, right? And I'm sorry, I covered up Elizabeth now. My bad. I didn't mean to do that. But they get to the hospital and they tell them we need help, and they see Rory, and so Finn, Elizabeth, and Portia jump into action to work on him and everything, because he's hurt. So now Alexis and Curtis were talking, right? And they're trying to figure out all the information. So Curtis says that Trina told him that Ava told her that she's been working with the police, working with Ryan Chamberlain to try to figure out if Esme was the hook killer or who it could possibly be. Like, what are the signs? So they said, that's something they haven't told the police. I said, you two need to leave this alone. But anyways, they're going to work together to try to figure this out. They had Sonny's gym because they say Jordan wasn't gonna come to Sonny's gym. And then Curtis gonna say Jordan overcorrected. No, Jordan is doing her job. And just because she won't give you information, so don't get me started on Curtis. He gets on my nerves. Like, you put Jordan down down as being less than because she lied to you, and you never let her forget that, and never let her forget how much better Portia is. But now, because she's not giving you information that you want, you talking about she overcorrected. Get off of it. But anyways, Jordan calls Curtis and she says, "Do you know where Taggart is?" Portia is busy. She said, "No." He tells her, "No, I don't know where Taggart is. I think he's working on a case out of town." And she said, "Go to Kelly's and get Trina and get her to GH ASAP." And at the same time, Gregory hits Alexis up and he says GH 911, right? So then Dante is there and he has blood on his hands. That's Officer Cabrera's. And Alexis says, "What's going on? Was it the killer?" She trying to get information out of Dante. He a little rattled. So Jordan comes up and she tells Dante, "Go get cleaned up. That's an order." I said, "You better put him in work." But anyways, so Jordan tells Alexis, "You could take this statement that no other officer of mine will be attacked like this again, and you could put me on the record for that," and all that." But that was even Jordan. She ain't giving Alexis no information. Alexis can't hold an ice cube. So, anyways, Gregory and Alexis talking, and so he started telling her that yeah, they think it was a hook killer, and they got venom and all that because they talking all out loud at the hospital, and Gregory was right there. So, anyways, then Curtis goes up on Trina and Spencer as they're about to have a moment where she, I guess, was gonna tell him that she cares about him, and she sees Curtis says Trina, and they're like, "What's going on?" And he looks in Kelly's and he says Joss and Cam. He said they need to hear this too. So they all go in and he tells them there's been another attack, and they were like, "Who?" And they said Rory. So they all get to the hospital, child, and Portia comes out. They're like, where's Rory? Is he okay?" This is Trina. Because they're all there to support her. And Portia comes out and she said, "Baby, we're doing everything we can, but he's lost a lot of blood, right?" So then Rory comes out. They're wheeling him out, and Trina runs up to him and she's like, "Rory, Rory." And he tells her that what he said to her, it was too soon, but he doesn't regret it because when you know, you know. And y'all, that was Thursday's episode of General Hospital. I said, "Oh my God," because then he flatlined. Y'all, I like me some Rory. This was a sad episode. I'm not gonna even lie to you. I was sad about this. And then so I went right into Friday's episode, right? Because I'm watching them back to back trying to catch up. And so I went right into it, and they started off with Trina and Rory, but I'm gonna hold that off until later. And my tears dried right on up. I'm not gonna lie, I shed a few tears off that Rory thing because, like, she just had got with him. He really did care for Trina, but I mean, it is what it is. That baby said, "I'm gonna go and do this Chicago PD because I got a prime time gig." So okay. Anyway, my tears dried right on up when I saw Anna and Victor, Valentine. I don't want to see this. I said, y'all had too good of an episode to throw these two in the mix. I'm not gonna lie to you. When Anna and Valentine were on the screen, Nikki's mind was in and out. I was like, "Girl, focus. You got to review this." I don't know what they were talking about. I know they said a little something about Lucy, and we need to find Lucy for Martin because he sacrificed himself. And then they found some kind of man that's going to be willing to talk because he was the kind of man that would take money from anybody. So they think he's worked with Victor. So now they have a whole day because they talk to him tomorrow. And so today, what they're going to do, and they're going to do some grown folks things. And that's all I really remember about Anna and Valentine. I'm not going to hold you. In order for me to do these General Hospital reviews, I'm not going to dwell on people that I really don't care about. I'm sorry. I know that sounds horrible, but I can't. They're boring. They're boring to me. I'm sorry. Anyway, so then we go to Ava, right? And I said, "Ava, girl, what you doing?" So she called somebody up because Ava been drinking. She's been drinking. So Ava called somebody up and she started playing Nicholas' confession. She said, "You heard that?" And I guess they told her yes on the phone. She said, "Good, get over here." Baby, I said, "Ava, who you on called?" It was Victor. She told Victor, if you got what you wanted, Nicholas is divorcing me. And he was like, "What?" So he gave you the papers, and she was like, "Yeah." And she said, he was like, "Well, I mean, with Esme and all that." And she said, "So you don't know about him and Elizabeth?" He said, "What?" And she said, "Yeah, him and Elizabeth are together." He said, "Well, I suspected, but I wasn't 100% sure." And she said, "Oh, so I guess you don't know about baby Cassadine on the way." Now, but Victor said, "What you talking about?" And she said, "Yeah, Elizabeth is pregnant." And Victor said, "Oh, my." He said, "But girl, listen. If Nicholas could jump from your bed to Esme's to not Elizabeth, your marriage was doomed anyways. You don't want that man. She said, but then he told Ava, why you bar? But then he told Ava, uh, um, this little leverage you think you got. Everybody know that Elizabeth saw Esme. So Nicholas saying he killed Esme. He talking about killing a dead woman, but the woman is very much so alive. And she said, yeah, but do you really want that to get out? Do you really want to put because there would be an investigation? Y'all stop. Do you really want to put that on her name, on y'all's name? And he says, no, and he said, "What do you want?" And she said, this is the divorce settlement that Nicholas trying to give me." And so he looks at it and he says he's being very generous. She said, "I want him to be more." I said, "Hey, well, how much money do you want?" She said, "He done broke my heart twice. He done cheated on me in a matter of months. I needs more money." And so Victor said, "Well, okay, fine. I'm gonna make it generous for you or whatever." And she says, "Okay," but he does tell her, "I'm sorry it had to end like this." I said, "No, you not. You want to be with Ava." Girl, don't get with him. Don't get with him, Ava. And so then Ava's, she's just heartbroken. So then we go to Nicholas and Laura, and she sees him because she's about to go out to what would they be calling it? Windermere Spoon Island and see Nick and see Spencer. He says, no, you can't. She was like, what? And he said he's not there. But she could tell something wrong with Nicholas. She was like, what's wrong? And he gives her a hug and everything. He's like, let's just go. You not be the mayor, I not be a Cassadine and go. And I'm like, Laura, you be all family's so important to me. I want anything you need. This boy is clearly telling you, I need you at this moment, but you can't be bothered or whatever. She was like, Nicholas, what's going on? I'm like, he's trying to tell you. He wants to go away with you for an hour or so and just talk, but you don't want to do it. So, anyways, y'all, Jordan ends up calling her and telling her about Rory. And so she's like, I gotta go, Nicholas, but I'm here for you. I said, no, you're not. So then, anyways, we pick up where we left off, and Rory's repeating his same thing to Trina about, he doesn't regret it. And then Trina starts screaming, no, no, no. And then they rush Rory into the hospital, back into the emergency room. I said, where was y'all taking him anyways? That y'all could wait. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, where were you taking him? So, anyways, Trina is out of her mind with worry, and so her friends are gathered all around her, trying to support her and everything. And then she says, "Why won't they tell us what's going on? That he's okay?" And then Portia comes out and she looks at Trina, and Portia can clearly is she on the verge of tears, and Trina's like, "No, no, no," and Trina just broke down. I said, "Is there still a young Emmy for the actress award? Because baby, Trina deserves it because she has put in work this year." This young lady has put in work since she joined the team. What was it, March, April? She has done a fabulous job. And baby, I feel bad for Trina because she was like deeply hurt. But you know why she was really hurt? Because she know deep down she ain't love Rory like that. He loved her and she couldn't say it back to him. And those were his last words were again telling her, I don't care if it was too soon. I loved you. I love you. That's what he was telling her. And she couldn't say it back. And not only that, she was gonna break up with that man and go to be with Spencer. So Trina is deeply hurt about all of this. Anyway, so hold on, let me so she asked Jordan, can she please go in to see Rory? And they tell her, yeah, you could go in and see him and everything. So she's like, okay, that's what she gonna do, right? And so after, so she lets her go in. So then Josh talks to Dante, and she asks Dante, was this because of Trina? And he said, Dante is like, at this point, we don't know what it was because of. They really don't know. So then Spencer, okay, so then Cam wants to try to talk to Jocelyn. She said, I just gotta be here to support Trina. So she shuts that down. So then Spencer and Cam talking, he was like, oh my gosh, I'm thinking about myself when I should, be focused on Rory and Spencer's like, yeah, me too. Like how selfish was I? I saw them at the PT grill and I was just jealous of Rory. And he was like, it's not your fault that you love Trina too. Anyway, so after that we see them all. come to get them all come together again, and they're trying to support Trina, but she's going into the hospital room. But as she goes into the hospital room, we see that Elizabeth has an earring that she found in Rory's pocket. And so she asks Trina, "Is this yours?" And Trina says no. So Dante says, "Can I have that?" And Finn's upset because he's like, "Man, we didn't do what we were supposed to do." So then we see, well, he feels guilty because he's like, we lost another person. And so then Trina goes in and she's talking to Rory, and she just apologizes because she says, "I didn't do what I was supposed to, you told me you love me and I couldn't say it back." And she still can't say it back really, but Dante goes in with Trina just to make sure she doesn't touch anything. And she was like, "I still can't, she can't say it back, but he was a good man and she'll never forget him." So then Trina goes to the chapel because they're all around her, and she's like, "I just want to be by myself." So she goes to the chapel and she's just asking God, like, why? He was a good guy. He was a good man, and all he wanted to do was protect people, and he had this big heart. Why did he have to die? Or whatever. So then we see where Jordan and Dante are talking, and they talk about this earring, right? So then they call Finn, Portia, and Elizabeth over, and they say that they did find the venom in his Rory's system. So it was the hook killer. And what information could they say, because they believe it was that it was Esme who did this. But okay, so then Elizabeth is like, "Oh my gosh, no, it was not Esme. It wasn't Esme. It couldn't be." And so everybody's like, "Why do you keep saying it's not Esme?" And she's like, "Because she 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 couldn't have done it. Like, it's not it would I don't think that's her MO." And she said even Cam doesn't believe it. So Cam came over. He said, "That just doesn't seem like Esme." And then Spencer said, "Yeah, and she wrestled with Elizabeth, but she could have, like, she wouldn't have been a strong enough hook killer to actually take her down." And so then Laura comes up and she gives them a hug and everything. She gives Jordan a hug, and she tells Jordan, "I'm sorry about everything that's happened." And then Elizabeth says, "You know what? I have to go. Cam, I want to make sure you get home safely." He's like, "Yeah, of course." And so everybody's like, "Elizabeth, you leaving in the middle of us trying to talk and discuss, what happened to Rory? Was his injuries from the hook? Like, what And she says, I have to go. Now Elizabeth is worried that Esme is on the loose. Um so then we see Jocelyn goes in and she comforts Trina. And so Trina is just telling her, "I couldn't tell him what he needed to hear, and that was that I loved him. But do you think he'll know that I will never forget him?" And she was like, "Well, I don't forget Oscar." And Jocelyn is also like, "I understand what you're going through," because Jocelyn knows, like, Trina feels guilty because Rory is a good man. Why couldn't she just love him? And Jocelyn feels the same way because Cam is a good guy. Why can't she just love him? But here she is wanting Dex the way Trina is wanting Spencer. They wanted the bag boys or whatever. So then Dante and Jordan talk, and she tells him that she needs to speak to Rory's parents and everything, and to go ahead and run to process the earring, and try to get more information because they got to take this person down, for everything that's going on, especially now that Rory's been hurt. So then she goes in to speak to Finn, and he's on the floor, like he can't believe he had to work on another patient that that was taken by the hook, and this is the result. And so she tells, she's like, "How was your day been?" No, he says, "How's your day been?" And she said, "It's about as same as yours." But she's asking him, "Can you give me any more information?" And he tells her no, he can't. Um but his day is over. So she says, "Go home and be with your daughter." And he says, "I feel like yours is just getting started." And I said, "I never thought about this, but what about Finn and Jordan? They seem to have, like, I could see it." But anyways, child, um Laura is there with Cam and Spencer, and she says she's just glad her grandsons are safe. And then Spencer says he's gonna go check on Trina. Excuse me, Cam says he's gonna go check on Trina, and she talks to Spencer. And okay, so Spencer had told Trina he was going out of town, but he didn't tell Laura this or anything. He was thinking about it at first, but now he's not. So he didn't tell her because he's decided he won't go out of town. But he does blame himself with what happened to Rory. And she was like, why? He said, I was the one who brought Esme into town, and everybody thinks she's the hook killer. None of this would have happened if I would have never brought her here. And she said, you cannot blame yourself for everything that Esme is doing. And we don't even know if it's Esme, but he does. So then Dante tells Jocelyn, you mind if I take you home? And she was like, yeah, yeah, I'll ride with you home. And then Cam says, can I speak to Joss before you take her? So he says, Joss, what was it that you were wanting to talk to me about? You had said it was important. She said, I can't even think of anything besides Rory. So she doesn't want to say right now. And it's not the right time. It's not, honestly, this isn't the right time to tell. And so Spencer said, what was that about? And he says, I have no idea. I said, Spencer, I mean, Cam, deep down, you know. And then he tells, Cam asks Spencer, did you tell grandma you were leaving town? And he says, no, because I'm not leaving. Now my mission is to support Trina and find Esme so we can stop the killings. And so then Elizabeth goes to the pier for Windermere, Spoon Island, and she tells Nicholas, call me back as soon as you can. I feel like you're walking to a trap. So then she walks into the house and she sees Nicholas and Esme done looked at her little tree. I said, Nicholas, Esme, what kind of weirdness is this going on? He telling her the tree look all good. I said, boy, you made I will never get over this man making this girl decorate this tree with cotton balls and toilet paper. You're not right for that. But Elizabeth sees that, and baby, she backs out of the room. And Nicholas said, I didn't hear you, Elizabeth. And so then he's like, what's going on? She said, there was another attack tonight, the hook killer. So that means it wasn't Esme. That means we don't blow up our lives for nothing, baby. I hollered. Elizabeth said, oh my God. Oh my God. I done lost Finn. You done lost Ava. And it was for nothing. I said, yeah, because you could have minded your business, Elizabeth, and you would still have your man. Now Nicholas was gonna lose Ava. Nicholas should have just told Ava from the beginning what was going on with Esme. All this lying and dipping and anyways, y'all. I will be live on Friday, December the 23rd, 7 Eastern, 6 Central, 4 on the West Coast. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be dropping the Monday and Tuesday episodes sometime tonight after I watch those sometime tonight. Again, thank you so much for watching.